Okay, what I want to do is a quick unboxing video of the MG10XU by Yamaha. Hopefully you find it useful, and also do a bit of a setup guide and a walkthrough for those of you who might be using MG10XU for streaming purposes. So finally, when we get it unboxed with only one hand, you've obviously got the mixer itself, and then hidden away inside the polystyrene is the instruction manual, and also the power brick, which is hidden behind that other bit of polystyrene. The power brick attaches with a push-fit power connector with a retaining nut feature, so there's no danger of it ever pulling out. Another thing to note is that the board around where the power goes in does run a little bit warm when it's on. So on the back of the board we've got the USB input and an output, so this board has 2 lines in, 2 lines out through the USB 2 connector, and drivers can be downloaded from the Yamaha website. And I think this feature makes it pretty much the most ideal board to use for broadcasting or for streaming, etc. What I want to do is just quickly run through some of the features of the board. One of the main ones is the phantom power for lines 1, 2 and 3 and also 4, the microphone inputs, which also have compressors on line 1 and 2, which are pretty useful for streaming as well. We've got the digital effects, there's 24 of those, and we've got the option to have USB input or a line input through 9 and 10, and then we've also got a toggle switch to send that to either the monitor or to the stereo feed. Here's the stereo mute switch, which is also incredibly useful for use on a computer, meaning that you can only hear the computer as opposed to hearing everything else coming through your mixer as well. I think the versatility of the mixer, as well as the analog and digital inputs and outputs on this board, together with the compressors, mean that it's probably one of the most feature-rich sort of budget mixers that are available, and that's why I'd thoroughly recommend it for use in sort of streaming applications where you might be wanting to listen to your game on your computer whilst outputting signals from the mixer to the stream. When I initially set the board up, I didn't pay any attention to the instructions, but if you look on the reverse of the instructions down the bottom, there is a description how to use the USB section so that you can listen to your computer and nothing else, or you can listen to everything and various different combinations of those. I spent quite some time sort of tweaking with the with this toggle switches on both the monitor and that line to sort of understand how it worked properly. The microphone I'm using is not particularly expensive, but it's XLR compressor mic, and it works perfectly with the board. There's a little bit of background noise, but I'm almost certain that's from the microphone rather than the mixer itself, as a friend of mine's also got one and he's using a much more expensive mic and having none of the same sort of background noise as I am. So after hooking everything up, I was able to test the mixer. I had my computer coming in through the USB. I had the output from the mixer set as an input device on the computer, and then that went through into my chat application, which is Discord that I'm using. Teammates were able to hear me perfectly clearly through the microphone. I was able to hear the game, and then whilst pressing the toggle switch I was able to play music through my computer, which they were able to hear as well. So all the features are there ready for me setting up my sort of first streaming with it, which will happen in due course, and I may even do a sort of part 2 video. The phono inputs I'm using with another input device to just generally listen to music. The sort of feel of the connectors is really good as well. There's no sag in the board to speak of at all, and it feels like it's the sort of device that's going to last you a long time. And the other cool thing about it is the actual size of it. So I got it slotted in behind my keyboard and it doesn't take up too much desk space at all. That's pretty much it for the video. If you guys want any other assistance with it, I will happily answer any of your comments if you drop them in below, and I'll put a sort of more details about the board itself and where you can purchase it from in the description below. One thing I did forget to mention was the connectors I'm using. I've got some really great ones off of Amazon. The 1/4 inch to 3.5mm stereo jack. I got a couple of those so I can route the sound in and out of my computer, and they're absolutely ideal for this application. Thanks for watching.